Hi, I'm Nicole, and today I'm working with Cruise Prosthetics to help them find out what their receivables balance is for the year. Cruise Prosthetics said that their sales for last year was $1 million, and they sell on terms where customers get a discount of 3% if they pay within 10 days, but the full invoice amount is due within 30 days. The sales department estimates that 50% of customers pay on the 10th day and get a discount, 30% pay on the 30th day, and the remaining 20% pay on average 40 days after the initial purchase date. Assuming that there's a 360-day year, I'm going to calculate and find out what the average receivables balance is for Cruise Prosthetics. And I'm going to do this both manually and using Excel. In order to calculate the receivables balance for Cruise Prosthetics, I'm going to do this in a few steps. If I look at the general formula for the average collection period, I can see that the average collection period is equal to the receivables over the average daily sales. I can rearrange this formula so that the receivables are equal to the average collection period times the average daily sales. With the information I've been given from Cruise Prosthetics, I can calculate both the average collection period and the average daily sales to then get the receivables balance. In order to calculate the average collection period, I can look at the collections department's information, where they said that 50% of customers pay on the 10th day, 30% pay on the 30th day, and the remaining 20% pay at 40 days after the purchase. So I can take a weighted average of these. So I would take 50% pay on the 10th day. So 50% pay on day 10. So I can multiply 50% by 10 days, plus the 30% who pay on the 30th day, so 0.3 times 30 days, plus the 20% who pay 40 days after purchase, so 20% times 40 days. This is going to give me a weighted average of the number of days it takes for people to pay Cruise Prosthetics after they make a sale. So if I multiply all those out and do the calculations, I see that the average collection period is 22 days. So on average, it takes 22 days for Cruise Prosthetics to be paid for sales that they make. In order to calculate the average daily sales, I can look at the annual sales, which is $1 million, over the number of days in a year. So in this, just for simplicity, we're assuming 360 days per year. So 360. So the annual sales of $1 million divided by 360 days will give me the average amount of sales in one day, which is equal to $2,778 per day. So I've got the average daily sales here, the average collection period here, so then the receivables are just taking those two figures and multiplying them together. So the receivables will be equal to 22 days multiplied by $2,778 per day to give me the average accounts receivable balance of $61,111. I'll now solve this problem using Excel. To solve this problem using Excel, I'm going to use the same steps that I did when I solved it manually. That is, I'm going to calculate the average daily sales and the average collection period, and then be able to multiply the average collection period with the average daily sales to get the receivables balance. In order to calculate the average collection period, I am going to take the weighted average of the figures that Cruise Prosthetics Collections Department has provided. That is, that 50% of customers pay within 10 days, 30% pay on the 30th day, and the remaining 20% pay on the 40th day. I've expressed all of the percentages as decimals so that I can multiply them. So in order to calculate the average collection period, I would take 0.5 multiplied by 10 days plus 0.3 multiplied by 30 days plus 0.2 multiplied by 40 days. Again, I get the same number of 22 days as the average collection period. In Excel, there's also a function called sum product, which allows me to multiply and add different columns. So instead of manually taking the percentage in column B, multiplying it with the number of days in column C, and then adding it to the next row, what I can do is use the sum product function, select the percentages here, and that's the first array, and then I select the days in the second array, and it gives me the same figure. So it's a little bit faster than going through it manually to calculate the average collection period. In order to calculate the average daily sales, all I have to do is take the annual sales, which I was told is $1 million annually, and the number of days in the year is 360. That's just for simplicity's sake. So the average daily sales is equal to the annual sales divided by the number of days in the year. So the average daily sales is $277.78, or if we round up, it's just $2,778. So that's the amount of sales per day. And then the receivables balance is simply the ADS, the average daily sales, multiplied by the average collection period. So I'm going to take the $2,778, multiply that by the 22-day average collection period, and I can see that the average annual receivables balance is $61,111.11.